Hey YouTube fam, it's me, Natural Me Smooches, and I have something on the top of my mind, so here we go. I love my church, I love my pastor, and I frequently go to church. I try to be pretty much faithful, but lately I've been a little lack in going to church as often as I usually do because I'm starting to feel kind of uneasy in my church and I feel terrible that I feel like this, but when I go to church so I can get away from everything else that's going on in the outside world, such as gossiping, backbiting, backstabbing, just all the negative thing that goes on outside of church. When you're in church, you're supposed to be there, and it feels like you're in a different world, and you don't have to deal with stuff that's going on the outside. It takes you away from that. But I would say a couple of months ago, I'm in church, and I heard this woman curse in church. It took me back because I never heard anyone curse in church. She used the F word or the MF word, and I was like, oh my God, like what's going on? And then someone that is in a ministry in the church, I think they were an usher, was like, oh, she's just mad. And they just like blew it off, like no one said anything to her, no one like reprimanded her for, speaking like that in the house of the Lord. Excuse me. In the house of the Lord, and I was really taken back by that. And then, the last few months also, well, not the last few months, but I guess just things are piling up that I'm overhearing. You hear people talking about the pastor, you hear people talking negatively about the church. There's a woman in my church that's not even talking to the pastor's wife because they're mad at her for whatever reason. Now, all I can see is that, okay, my battery died, so I had to put in another set. So as I was saying, I hope I'm not repeating myself because I kind of forgot what I was just saying before, but I'm not feeling comfortable in my church because people are talking about my pastor. I don't expect my pastor to be the perfect person. He's human. He's always going to be human first, but he's going to be doing his best to follow the word of the Lord and try to set an example for his people in the church. And I don't feel like anybody has a right to talk about the pastor because of what he's supposed to be representing to us. So if you're not happy with the pastor or what's going on, just leave the church instead of creating gossip and rumors and just negative things in the church. Because it starts from one place, then it bounces to another person, and it just becomes a whole big crazy thing, and it's happening inside church. I'm hearing, I think I said before, with the woman cursing in church, that should have never happened. Somebody should have walked up to her and said, you're not supposed to be talking like that, and pray over her or do something, but not allow it and just blow it up. We're like, oh, she's just mad because she's a regular and you know her, it's okay. That doesn't really make sense to me. So I love my church and I love my pastor, but I don't know if I want to stay in that environment because that's the environment I'm trying to avoid. And I know there's no such thing as a perfect church because there's always something negative going on in churches, but it's supposed to be a home away from home where I feel safe and I feel like, I'm honoring my Lord the way I'm supposed to be honoring it. But how can I fully honor it when I got all this negative stuff going on? And sometimes, without even knowing it, you get caught up in it too, and then you become one of them. And I don't want to be like that. I've heard people, talk about other people in church while service is going on, and it just makes me feel so uncomfortable. So, I'm in a dilemma if I want to stay at my church that I'm at or find another church. And then at the same time, is the other church that I end up going to, will it turn out to be the same thing? So I'm going back and forth with that and everything, but I do know that I do feel uncomfortable in my church, and I shouldn't feel uncomfortable. I feel like, there's a few people in church who are very judgmental, a few people in church who are very jealous, and, everybody's going to church, but it just makes me wonder, well, I guess everybody's going to church for their own reasons, but I think the main reason everybody should be there is to not be what God doesn't want us to be. And that is, whatever is going on in the street, you're supposed to be trying to change your life in the church. And it doesn't seem a lot of people are doing that. They're just going there because it's something that they was raised to do, but they don't really get into the Word the way they should be. Or it's just something that just became a habit, and they're just going just to go there, and it's not doing any changes in them, and they're not understanding what the Word is saying to them that day, or they're not hearing it, they're ignoring it, or they're just missing the Word because they're into the gossip and the rumors and everything else that's being thrown around in the church. So I just wanted to share that because, it's really bothering me, and I really don't know what to do. But I'm going to, I'm trying to hang in tough there because I do love my pastor, I don't care what they're saying about him and everything like that, because I do see he's doing stuff for the church. Like, just like I'm thinking now, I shouldn't be thinking. I should just be focused. I'm at church, this is my pastor, and that's it. Like that. I've been a member of my church for about 5 years, and in the beginning, I really loved the church. I thought it was a church I wanted to be a part of. I was like lit on fire by the Lord and the Spirit and the Word, and it seems like all of it died down. And the church I went to before, the only reason I left it, and I went there from the age, Jordan was about 2 years old when we started, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would say I was with that church about 7 or 8 years. I never really had any complaints. The only reason I left the church is because it didn't have enough programs for the children. And even though it was good for me, I needed something that my children, at that time it was just one child, that he could get more involved in the church and everything. So I went looking for another church, and I happened to find the church that I'm a part of now. And it seems to offer like everything I want, but now it seems like it's dying, and like the people that are in head of certain ministries and everything, I see that they're not the right leader for that ministry, and it seems like everybody is a leader. Not everybody, but there are people that are leaders in certain ministries that they shouldn't be a leader, because it seems like they're there for the title and not for the leadership to help the church grow and to show guidance of how to follow, what you're supposed to be doing. It's just that they're there to have a title. The older people that have been in the church seems to don't want change, so it makes it more difficult for the pastor to do what he wants to do and what the Lord is showing him that the church should be like, because he has so many people against him because they want to stick to the old rules and not him to apply his new rules. And I don't think that's fair, because if you elected a man to be your pastor in the church, let him lead the church, let him do the decisions that he needs to do so that the church can grow. And I know it has a lot to do with people, not totally there for the pastor, so things aren't really working the way it is. And I don't think his dream is being seen through because he has so many blockage in the church. So, I'm praying on it, and I'm hoping that, whatever the Lord leads me to, I got to do what's best for me and my family. When I talk about things, I get it off my shoulders and put it out to you guys, or just to put it out somewhere else and release it out somewhere else, so that it doesn't hold on to me. Because I'm going to let the Lord decide where he wants me to go. And meanwhile, I'll continue going to the church. I don't go as often because I really don't like going there, but I still try to support my pastor as much as possible. And I actually did, for Easter, was the first time, I was saying, in 6 years that I went to another church, and I really did enjoy this church, but we'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know the outcome of that. But, so I just wanted to let that out there. But you guys have a blessed day, and smooches, and love each other, don't hate each other.